Hello my kin, my name is Kin Ping, but you can call me Kin, and today I'm here to talk about Archaon the Ever-Chosen and the new Immortal Empires, I guess it's a new Immortal Empires update for Total War Warhammer 3. Archaon, as, some of you might know, I did a campaign of him. It is literally my first couple videos, first 4 videos or something, is me playing an Archaon campaign. So I thought that with Immortal Empires coming out, there's so much to cover, and I want to cover a lot of it, but I decided that it would be good for me and you guys and people who have watched my Archaon videos to know what I think about the new Archaon, because I'm a big Archaon fan. He's not my favorite Warhammer character, but he's probably in my top 5. And I know quite a lot about him thanks to those videos, because I learned all about his origin and how he brings about the end times, how he gets all his artifacts and all of that stuff. So I know my Archaon lore, that's for certain. And I've played the Archaon campaign a few times, never to full completion of course, but I've played it. And now I'm about halfway through Archaon campaign in Immortal Empires. So here is gameplay. I'm sure it will be playing here. I'm not watching it right now. I'm just talking. So you guys will be seeing stuff that I'm not, basically. But it doesn't matter. I hope you enjoy this gameplay. This is just me chilling and playing an Archaon campaign. So it's difficult to really say if Archaon's good or not. We're going to have to go through a couple of things with this new Chaos update and everything. So if you don't know, which you should know, Chaos, massive update. They play completely different to how they used to. They are no longer Horde factions. That is a key bit of information. If you want to play Chaos, remember they are no longer Horde factions. They do not operate as a Horde faction. They don't do any of that stuff. They don't have encampment. They have settlements and then little outposts like Wood Elves. They do not do Horde factions. So if you're looking for a Horde faction, don't play Chaos. Play Beastmen or Nakai the Wanderer. They're perfect for you. So, with the Chaos settlements, Dark Fortresses are a type of settlement, and lots of settlements are Dark Fortresses. It doesn't change the settlement itself. If a settlement is a Dark Fortress, then it acts completely as normal. It just means that when you take it as Chaos, it is an actual settlement. So as Chaos, you really want the Dark Fortress ones, because the Dark Fortress ones mean you'll have like 6 building slots, and you'll be able to build all sorts of buildings there. I think there's about, from what I can remember, I think there's about 11 or 12 different building types you can do. So, 2 fortresses, you should be able to build all buildings. And then if you take a minor settlement, or a settlement that isn't a Dark Fortress, then it is simply a little square of what the of what kind of settlement it is. Then it's got one option to build something, which can either be like a warband recruitment thing or a garrison. That's basically it. So they're okay, not really worth getting. If you're playing Chaos, it's much better to just give it to your vassal if you have vassals, which is also another big part of this. Vassals are a huge part of Chaos now, alongside this warband recruitment, which I'll tell you about later. But vassals are a really big part of playing Chaos. So you're no longer smashing and destroying settlements. That's not a thing anymore. When you're playing as Chaos, you want to take Dark Fortresses, and then you want to take minor settlements but give them to your vassal, or subjugate the faction that's already there. So there's a lot of vassals going around. I think in my campaign, where I'm up to now, I've got about 5 vassals, like I think 4 Norscan tribes and a Nurgle tribe. And then I've got like military alliances with demons and Slanesh and lots of the stuff. So though it's not the most, though it's technically not a diplomatic campaign, you're actually doing a lot of is it allegiance? You're doing a lot of allegiance stuff and building outposts and recruiting units and requesting armies and sending armies to fight this enemy and blah blah blah. So it's a really complicated campaign, but you slowly get used to it. The more vassals you get, the more complicated it becomes, but it never gets harder. Having more vassals is probably better as well. You have more vassals, you'll be able to maintain them a little bit better. You don't want them getting too big, because then they'll start seeing you as a strategic threat the bigger you get, if the bigger they get, because they think, oh, we could actually try and take them on. So you don't want that happening. You want to, I don't know, at least 3 or 4, and then divvy up the settlements between them, kind of thing. That is new, so no horde faction mechanics, and settlement mechanics are different, and you've got vassals. And then there's warband recruitment. And warband recruitment is awesome. Basically, depending on the corruption type or the terrain type of a certain region, which is just the settlement and the land around it, you'll have units pop up in a warband recruitment tab, which is how you recruit units. And so you have, like, say, marauders will be there, and you can have up to 4 marauders in that warband place. And then over time, with the little percentage thing that you can see, they could be added. So, like, I've had a place where there's really high Nurgle corruption, and because there's really high Nurgle corruption, the chances for Nurgle marauders appearing in that region are like 60%. So it's 60% that every turn I might get an extra Nurgle marauder, but if it reaches that cap, you won't get any more. And that goes for almost all units. Like, you can have trolls. I've got 2 units of aspiring champions from this stuff. Like, every now and then there's a chaos warrior. Honestly, aspiring champions are more common than chaos warriors, at least from what I've seen. You can get all sorts of stuff, and it's really fun because they're instant recruit. So it also changes the way you recruit your armies as well, because technically you could be like vampire counts and you could summon a whole army in one turn and then you go off. So you don't need to actually wait around to recruit. I've struggled a little bit with this, getting my head around it, because what happens is you'll create a lord, and that lord will appear, and you'll be like, okay, I need to recruit my army and head off. But the thing is, you don't need to, really. You just walk to where you need to be, and then depending on what is in the warband recruitment, because there's warband recruitment everywhere, even if you're not in your settlements, there is always warband recruitment everywhere. Every single province, enemy provinces, warband recruitment is everywhere. So what you do is you just go to enemy territory, or just like on the edge of your territory, summon your whole army, and boom. And the thing is, you don't need to wait for a turn, because then you're wasting your upkeep. So what you do is literally the turn you say, okay, I'm going to attack this settlement on next turn. So don't recruit any units. Then next turn, recruit all your units and attack. It's a really cool mechanic and it's really fun, but it takes a while to get used to, especially if you're used to like more simpler campaigns. I've played Vampire Counts a fair amount, so I feel like I was okay with it, but it was still pretty difficult to get my head around the tactic, which sounds kind of weird because it is simple in theory, but I don't know why. To use it to its full potential, it takes a little while. So yeah, that's the Chaos update. And now for Archaon. Archaon has got a visual overhaul. I think he's got a skill tree overhaul. He's just so much better. He's got, I think he's got more voice lines as well. He sounds like an absolute badass. He looks like a badass, fights like a badass. He mounts units all the time. I've had a few fights with him. He's never gone under 50% HP. He is really strong, especially with all his artifacts. You do all the quest battles, which are pretty hard. I think I've done 2 of them, and they're pretty hard. But doing those quest battles, getting those artifacts of chaos, makes him so strong. And the fact that he can have allegiance to all 4 chaos gods as well as chaos undivided makes his army anything you want. You can do anything you want with your army. Ideally, though, because you know chaos gods hate each other. Khorne hates Slaanesh, Slaanesh hates Khorne, and then there's a rivalry between Nurgle and Tzeentch as well. So for armies in Archaon's campaign, it's better to stick with 2 gods per army or 1 god per army, because the more allegiance you get, which is the little dial on the side. When you see an army, there's that little dial on the side, yellow one, and then the different colors for the different gods. The more allegiance, or not allegiance, sorry, the more, is it allegiance? I can't remember what it is. But the more of those points that you get for a certain god, it might reduce for others. Like I decided to make a Nurgle army because I had my Nurgle vassal. I was like, I'll recruit some demon Nurgle units from my Nurgle vassal, and then I will recruit some like mortal Nurgle worshippers because there's high Nurgle corruption in that area where I vassalized them. So I decided, okay, Nurgle army. And so what I did is I had my lord and my hero. I ascended my, not ascended, but yeah, I guess I ascended him to Nurgle to be a Nurgle wizard. I had a Nurgle hero in there, and I had my full Nurgle army, and it works perfectly. But the thing is, I can chuck in some Slanesh if I want. I can chuck in, if I really wanted, some Khorne. I can put anything in there, and I can have a couple Chaos Warriors as well. Giant, or Trolls, or a Manticore. I can just switch, as long as I don't have, like, Tzeentch, because I got, like, -3 for Tzeentch, but I've got, like, +3 for Nurgle. And it just makes your units cheaper, and replenish faster, and everything. So, with Archaon's campaign, you really want to have each army focus on 1 or 2 gods only, and then obviously have their undivided stuff as well. Because if you're getting a negative for undivided, I don't even think that's possible, so you're obviously doing it wrong. But yeah, that's the way to do the armies in Archaon's campaign. Archaon himself, his army, you can kind of do anything you want with his army, because he's always guaranteed to have at least 0 for everyone. I only had Khorne in -1 for a little bit before I think I got his armor, which put everything up by 1. So his army is always really solid. You can have any units in that you want, which makes him really strong. I fought a few battles with Archaon's army, but the fact that he can have anything and it always usually fits as well, auto-resolve is off the charts. Like, I always play on normal difficulty with no mods or anything like that, just simple normal difficulty, and I can auto almost all my battles because Archaon's army is just so strong. So he is really strong. Takes a while to get going because when you start, you're in one of the corners of the map, and you got to decide who you want to be your vassals, who you want to kill, which way you want to go. There's like 3 different ways you can choose to go, so that's difficult to choose at the start. But once you got your idea of where you want to go, who you want to vassalize, who you want to be friends with, then go down into Kislev or go across to Malice or someone, and you start destroying, and it's just OP. It's really, really OP. So I can say that Archaon's campaign is amazing. It is a really good campaign. It is definitely a step up from his previous one. It's really fun, and it makes you feel like you're bringing the end times. Even though I think I'm on like turn 50, I've only just started going into Kislev and like truly destroying. I've just killed Katrina, I've annihilated Prague, I've just destroyed Halpert as well. So I'm just in that top area, but it took me a while, but it was really fun because you feel like you've finally mustered all your forces. You've got like 5 different allies, and you're ready to just annihilate anyone in your way. It's a really good start, and I'm not sure if they did it on purpose. Like, starting where you start as Archaon just gives you those first 40 turns or something in the demon like realm or chaos wastes to like grow up and become strong, and then just smash your way into Kislev and just annihilate. It's really fun, and I definitely recommend Archaon's campaign. He's the only campaign I've played in Immortal Empires, actually. I've just been playing him, so I don't know what the other ones are like, but if you're looking for a good campaign to play, definitely play Archaon. He's really, really fun, and his armies and starting position and stuff, it's just amazing. The variety and the way that you can customize stuff in Archaon's campaign rivals like the Demon Prince customization. It's really, really, really fun. So I think that will be it from me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helped you decide if you want to do an Archaon campaign or not. Hope this maybe cleared up some things about the Chaos DLC or update. So I guess I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye, my kin.